Mate, realistically, we got punished for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it didn't work out the way we wanted it to work out. Therein lies the lesson. Right, you ready to roll?
Yeah. Ready to go, mate. Filming now.
Boom. Okay, welcome back to another episode of NFT Party, and this is the first episode.
What episode is this, actually?
Episode 7, where we are discussing, documenting part of our process of building an NFT house a little bit. We thought we'd do something different with this video in the sense that we've kind of come in with a bit of a game plan.
Yeah.
We want to deliver maximum value with these NFT related ones going forward. Stuff that hopefully people are going to be able to implement, learn from our mistakes as we do it, because we're going to be documenting the process of building this studio in real time. So this video hopefully is not going to drag on too long. We want to keep it nice and short and sweet, but it's going to be titled something like 3 mistakes to avoid when building an NFT project.
Yeah. Which is basically going to be 3 things that we've had happen to us in the last week that we're basically trying to help anyone who's going on this journey to avoid.
There we
go. Like things that are unexpected that just kind of crop up and are like, oh shit, we've got to deal with this now and make it better so that we actually do the right thing. But
man.
Okay, cool. Should be a sweet little episode.
Cool. Again, I could keep coming in here with the slides on, so I'm going to get them off, mate.
Put your feet in the barn if you want.
Yeah. I don't know if we've got that kind of relationship.
Definitely do.
Right, okay, sick. So let's keep this short and sweet, but let's dive straight into it. And if you're new, if you're just joining us, like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. We are trying to grow. We're at 1k subscribers now. So mission 5k. Let's go. Sick. Okay, quickly then to preface this, we are building a NFT production house. If you want to go know a little bit more about it, we did it in the last video called Touch Moon Studios, and we're currently working on 2 NFT projects, which we haven't gone into any details on yet. We will in subsequent videos. But this video is literally kind of reflecting on the last week. We thought we've come across a couple of challenges which we have overcome. So hopefully by documenting it, we're going to chat about it now.
Exactly.
This is going to be able to help people that want to build something similar in the future.
Yeah, because we're kind of updating in real time as well. So it's literally going to be like a look back on what we've done 7 days like prior to making these videos. Yeah. So it's like, cool. These are the things we're learning. So yeah, first problem we encountered was obviously to do with kind of the main thing for an NFT, really, in terms of a visual. The art. On the visual end is the art. Yeah. So we had a problem with our artists. Yeah. And we'd obviously chose artists, which we had found through going through Instagrams and even Fiverr, to be fair. We were looking for artists who potentially could create something cool that we were based on the idea that we'd come up with, but we gave them the brief. We'd come up with the concept before the project, and we were looking for artists to kind of bring that to life and help us with that. Exactly.
And I think this is a really good lesson, to be honest, because I feel like we were like, where the fuck are we going to find artists from? And that's something we've been focused on the last week, probably 2 to 3 weeks, actually. This isn't just a new problem in the last week. It's just kind of come to a head for us in the last week. It's a funny one because we looked for artists on a load of different platforms. You know, we're already working with a couple of really talented ones as well who we have great relationships with. But the thing we needed for these particular projects, we needed a new artist, fresh. We needed more people that could help bring these to life. Yeah. So we were looking, where did we look? We looked, like Instagram, Google, we're looking even like Pinterest, Fiverr, like anywhere that you can imagine you can find art or artists are going to be posting their work. Like all of that's kind of fair game and great places to look if you're looking for an artist. Now, we ended up on this occasion trying to work with a couple of artists off Fiverr.com. And here is the lesson learned, because obviously, in the NFT space, I mean, rightfully so, as we'll kind of discuss, like using Fiverr artists for this kind of thing has a bit of a bad rap, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, big time. Like people frown upon it massively, and I kind of understand why. But like I said, my point is that there's two sides to that coin in terms of if you meet someone on a platform and then take them off it, then they're not labelled that thing anymore. If you've met someone on Fiverr that's incredible and does a good job for you, they're just a freelancer at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And then if you take them off Fiverr and you're working with them on something external, then they don't become a Fiverr artist. Like, really, it doesn't really matter. We were just looking for talented people that could bring to life the idea that we've created in our minds. So, but obviously, look, also the problem with those platforms is that you don't actually know how great they actually are to a degree.
I mean, like when we were talking off camera beforehand, when I was on my way over here, you were a bit worried about, like, should we even say we were looking on Fiverr.com? Is that a bit shady? I was like, mate, realistically, we're just trying to talk about our mistakes so that people can learn from them. And we found an artist on Fiverr.com. We got punished for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it didn't work out the way we wanted it to work out. Therein lies the lesson. So basically,
I think it's the quality thing for me. Because everything we do, I want to be such high quality that there is that bad reputation with Fiverr work and things like that. So just like it's just so important that we're going high quality on this stuff. It was just a place we were looking, and we, like George says, we did just get punished for it anyway. Yeah.
So punished in the sense that it just was very hard to communicate with them. They were in another country, I think.
Trust.
It comes down to trust, doesn't it? Really, because obviously, you know, we could communicate. Language was okay. It was a little bit difficult at first.
Yeah. But I mean, let's tell them how we actually executed that, even to be able to speak to them. So we mass DM'd all these people, then we scheduled a call to actually have that call, so we could, because it's so hard, particularly if someone does speak a different language, to try and get across your point. Over like chat. So I guess that's another point to factor in just for people watching. Like, obviously going hard and DMing people at scale, trying to like have that rapport with them and build it on a more like on platforms like Zoom and things like that, to be able to chat to them. But then obviously we got them on that call to be able to speak to them, and then there was trust and communication issues there to a degree. Like,
trust at the end of the day, because we'd basically looked to, and we'll get onto this because this kind of comes to the next one, we'd looked to offer them a percentage of the royalties.
Exactly.
And that was how they were incentivized. But obviously you're making a contract with somebody over the internet that you've never met before. So you're trying to build a relationship with them. Of course that's difficult because you're obviously not in the same room. So I think we just struggled there in the sense that, you know, we'd said, you know, like, obviously your royalties are going to get written into the smart contract. So,
which is actually like one of the sick things about a smart contract in terms of actually getting rid of this whole issue of trusting someone who you've never met before, which is kind of sick. That's what is actually quality about
literally
it.
A solution provided by technology.
Going to be put in there, so like you don't have to care.
They don't have to trust us in a way. Like as long as they're in the contract, they will be getting their royalty points. But yeah, it just became tough to communicate our ideas. We're pushing for a certain level of quality. You know, everything we've done so far has been high quality.
And this isn't to shit on them either and say they're terrible artists. They just weren't moving in the direction that we saw it.
Yes.
It's not saying that they're shit at what they do. They're really talented at what they do. They just weren't.
They were good artists.
They weren't like visualizing our stuff,
and the communication was a bit of an issue. And also, just to kind of double down on that point, when we kind of parted ways with them, we made sure they were given a small percentage of the royalty, even still.
Yeah, exactly.
And kind of left it in quite an honourable way. Thank you.
Two honourable men.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate your work.
It's nice though.
You got your flashlight on that, mate.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
So lesson number 1 is. How would you sum that up?
Basically, lesson number 1: do not rush into finding an artist, and also be okay with changing your mind on an artist at the same time. Be respectful and try and give them some value out of it if they've spent time on it, but also always back your decisions and what you want to make your ideas come true. And if that's not the right person, then don't just force it.
What do we have that written down as? What was mistake number
1?
I
thought it was fire there.
Okay. I feel like it.
We haven't. It's just documenting what's happened.
Oh, okay. Maybe Well, what's the second mistake then, mate?
Just money.
Yeah, because we couldn't really. It was hard to.
It leads into it. It leads into it. Though.
To summarise the first mistake, then not bashing Fiverr, but you have to be looking in quality places to find quality artists and be confident that they're going to be able to deliver on that pretty much. So
yeah, precisely.
Not to bash Fiverr at all, but I feel like
and it's also, mate, we're backing ourselves to deliver these projects to a high level. Yeah, so you wouldn't like if you want to get your conservatory done. Yeah, how many builders do you get round to do a quote? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't just go, yes, sweet, I'll take the first price. It's kind of the same concept. It's like, yeah, they could be good, but also at the same time, like, you know.
Yeah, no, true. So yeah, don't be afraid to kind of, if something's not going the way. I mean, we pulled the trigger pretty quickly, didn't we? We were like, this isn't going the way we want. Because
you don't want to waste anyone's time either.
No. So that leads us into mistake number 2 that I feel like we can talk about. Point number 2 is incentivizing your team members in the correct way that gives them enough motivation to do the work at the correct pace that is in line with the pace that you want to move at. So on the topic of these Fiverr artists that we did try to work with, we offered them a percentage of the royalty. Now, that makes a lot of sense because obviously, you know, if you haven't got a massive amount of startup capital, that's a really good way to go about striking a good partnership. Everyone's getting, you know, everyone's going to be receiving similar kind of compensation. But the problem with that is
you have to get lucky, really.
You either have to get like mega lucky that you've found somebody that's very self-motivated, is completely bought into the project and is like hyped to
or just like super early in their career and they're hungry.
Yeah.
Like when people know their value and like you know their value, people don't want to do things for free, even off like the base of like this might work. Even though we know and we're like super confident it will work, it's hard. Like you said, these are people we haven't met before.
Sure.
If you pay them, they're like fair play. It's also a show of confidence, but obviously not everyone has the funds to be able to do that. But still,
so I feel like to kind of illustrate the issue we run into, it's hard to, because we're not paying somebody outright. You can't really. Listen, like, not boss them around would be definitely the wrong phrase, but you can't like be on at them and say we need this by then, unless they're on the same kind of built from the same mold. It's hard to do that. You've got no like come back on them if they don't do something for a certain time. You're not paying at the end of the day. So,
I mean, paying someone's so different to working
literally
for free.
So I think that like point number 2 we kind of realised is we were better off going with somebody that we've worked before with, we know them very well, got a great relationship with them, and we're going to pay them up front because we need to get things done in a certain like measure of time to a certain level of quality.
And they are also getting royalties as well, which is...
Yep, absolutely. So, good. You know, compensating your team, I think, in the right way to make sure they're motivated is another massive lesson we've kind of learned in the last couple of weeks. So that's another super interesting one. I mean, this is why I really try and avoid working with friends so much, because you can never, like, I really hardly ever do that now unless I really know they're kind of, like, we've got a few mates that we know are built from the same mold and you can rely on them for certain things. But even then, it's only 1 or 2 things and you've got just no comeback. You can't be like, mate, I need this tomorrow. Can you get this for me now?
Yeah, and there is nothing more frustrating than someone promising they're going to do something and just not doing it, or not doing it by a certain timeline, and you not being able to be like, "Come on, mate!" Like, do you know what I mean? Like, literally. That's frustrating. But
so by paying somebody, you've got that leverage to be like, you can set
kind of got a level of control, really.
You got the control when you're trying to build a project of any kind of
it's important
magnitude. It is important. Okay, sick. I think we're on fire now. Point number 3.
Point number 3. Let me just check quickly. What was it? Oh, yeah. Right. This doesn't really go for these projects at the moment anyway, but timing. So timing was, as we've said before, I've also got an NFT project that's aligned with my clothing brand that hasn't come out yet. And for me, now this is like I just overshot it in terms of timing, because obviously I wanted to figure out how like a timeline for executing the marketing. Then I wanted to know like end dates for like how quickly this could be actually produced.
And when you say you overshot the timing, you mean like you thought you might be able to get done quicker than it actually took what you're going to take.
Well, I thought I think the artist did as well. So and it's very difficult because if you, like I said before, like when you want like serious detail and you want it to be perfect, that you can't rush these things. So like a big thing, there's 2 points to this timing issue, is always overestimate what you think it's going to be and give yourself some leeway. And then point number 2 is kind of the counter to that, is also don't feel like you have to rush things. I know there's a level to actually timing things to actually come out. Like for example, like if you have got a clothing drop, you do need it out at a certain date if it's a autumn winter collection. And
you always want to hustle, and you don't be dragging your feet or whatever, but you've got to be realistic.
Not at all, extent. Exactly. So yeah, timing can be a big issue. Yeah.
For motivation as well, a motivation standpoint, if you're missing deadlines, that can have an impact on other people. But I think with your project particularly, like you were, this was like probably the most you've been in a position where you've been working with a team and managing other people. A lot of our stuff that we've done previously to this has been quite solo orientated. So that was definitely a learning experience. I mean, we were obviously talking about it every day, even though you were managing that project. Like for the sake of discussion, I don't know, you were looking to have launched it within like 4 months or whatever, and then like 5 months.
I mean, it was meant to have been launched by now, and it might not even launch this year.
Yeah, well, there we go then.
Which is mad, but I don't think that's a problem. I just think people need to relax, be confident in your work. If it's going to be more detailed, it's going to take more time. Usually it's going to be a better product. Usually you put a product out, iterate, test it with the market, go back to the drawing board and create another product. And that is how it works.
Yeah, literally.
Until it bangs.
And the thing to remember as well is like things that are worth doing take time.
100%,
like Rome wasn't built in a day. I can't believe I just dropped that phrase. Rome wasn't built in a day. Rolling my eyes inside. But it's true, you know. Like
that is true.
If things that are worth doing, take time. So so don't be afraid of that.
Good things come to those who wait.
Yeah. Oh God, we're on fire with the cliches today. Vomit into the back of his mic.
But yeah,
right, okay. So I think
that was the past 7 days. So
there we go.
We'll have another update. Actually, he's going on holiday. Lucky boy.
Yes, we're actually filming 2 of these today.
So we got so next week's one will actually be about something different, but we'll probably have an update within 2 weeks of like probably the other problems and the other advancements that we've made. So,
cool. We are trying to document this, and we are all. God, give me.
We are old.
We are also about to film an econ video as well, which we're going to put in 2 different playlists.
Yeah.
And the reason we're dropping an econ video on our NFT channel is because we know at some point in this journey we're going to be bringing NFTs into our econ projects.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fairly soon as well. So we just thought we really wanted to document what we're doing, and I think it'll be interesting, really. So there we go. That is 3 lessons we've learned in pretty much the last week or 2 whilst building our NFT project. There we go. Like and subscribe. NFT Party, episode 7. Let's go.